Okay, so the next one, the one you gave to me was Ain't No Man with Money by Van Tastic. Um, so Van Tastic, also known as Chris Fallon, is a sort of bluesy folk artist currently living in the Netherlands, I think.
Yeah.
And at one time he lived and performed in Edinburgh. I think he's American born, grew up in France, and has kind of been like living a bit of a nomadic life, traveling around Europe. Um, and he seems to be a bit of a character. I think you mentioned on the last episode that he described himself as a cunt fuck.
Yeah.
And a modern day gypsy conceived by a serpent and born from a goat. Um, so he seems like an interesting fellow. To get a real kind of feel for his character, you can check out the video Meet Vantastic, which is on his own YouTube channel. And those are where those quotes come from. So Ain't No Man with Money is the first single from his debut album, Church of Vantastic, which I couldn't find a release date for. So I don't know if you found anything.
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not
No,
100%
okay.
sure when that's
So
going
it
to be.
might be out like I don't know the first quarter of next year or something. I'm not sure. But it's basically a sort of stomping blues rock song, and it reminds me quite a lot of the likes of Seasick Steve.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah.
And I kind of what I kind of mean by that is like it's got a sort of creaky kind of ramshackle sound to it. Lots of distortion on the guitars, and it just kind of feels like it could fall apart at any moment. But there's also quite a cool, like grainy sort of echoey modification on the vocals, which gives it this kind of really old school blues vibe. Um, so I think if you like the sound of that, then you should get a lot out of this. There's a kind of the stomp of the kind of drum beat reminds me a wee bit of Bron Stomp by Led Zeppelin. And I think it is just that kind of drum thump that kind of permeates throughout the song. It doesn't sound that much like Bron Stomp really. I think it's just that familiar kind of drum sound. And then there's like there was like this like sliding chord progression that was really bugging me while I was listening to the song. It's like really familiar, and I was tearing my hair out for ages about it, and then eventually remembered that the song I was thinking of was on the Billy Madison soundtrack. If you're familiar with that film,
Right, okay.
it's an old Adam Sandler as like one of his first films, and there's a scene where he like drives up to. He's basically a 30-year-old man going back and going through redoing his high school. Uh, he's got to graduate from high school, and he pulls up to the high school in like a sort of cool sports car, blasting 80s rock music, and the sort of teenager at the time just kind of sneer at him, trying to be cool. But long story short, that song is a classic 80s track, "The Stroke" by Billy Squier. I mean, I didn't know that's what it was called, but
Right, okay.
um, and it's a long story to tell just for like to one specific part of the song, but it was really bothering me, so I made a point of.
Just that kind of sliding
It's
guitar
just like
progression.
it's like does it go into the? It's like there's like a bridge section after the sort of the sort of main verse. It's like a sliding sort of guitar bit that I'm not sure how to describe it, but if you go and listen to Ain't No Man with Money and then go and listen to The Stroke by Billy Squire, you'll know the bit I mean. So anyway, that was a long way to get to a point that doesn't really matter all that much. But anyway, um, it's a good song. It's a really good song. And it's just kind of this ramshackle blues song with lyrics about not having a fancy car or a fancy house. I ain't no man with money. So yeah, I think this is like a solid 8 out of 10 for me.
That's basically what I've given it as well. I've got quite into him.
Yeah,
I've kind of tuned into the Church of Fantastic a few times as well. He, as you quite rightly said, kind of living in the Netherlands at the moment. And he's kind of said the live music isn't really a thing in the Netherlands, or at least isn't at the moment. So he's currently kind of playing from the comfort of his own home for the time being, and you can kind of tune into him on the Church of Fantastic every Sunday at 3 o'clock UK time. I've kind of missed it a lot of the times, to be honest, because like I've either got the kids or I'm working or what have you. But I have went back and watched the videos. And yeah, I really enjoy it. He's only on for maybe like half an hour, but I think that's kind of deliberate. I remember him mentioning something about that being the ideal amount of time for live streaming or something like
I think
that.
so. I mean, like you start to lose your
Kind of momentum
attention.
after a while.
Yeah, but we both watched one of those streams at the same time,
Yeah.
yeah, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, he threw out um, a couple of covers, Nine Inch Nails' "Hurt" and "Land of the Rising Sun" by the Animals. So it's always good to hear. But yeah, I think that's good. Like doing a regular kind of live stream every Sunday. Definitely worth checking out for sure.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, I mean, I think the guy comes across as being really personable. I can see why he's got as many followers as he does. And as I said, well, as you were saying there, like I get the impression that he's a character. You know what I mean? He's a genuine, unconventional kind of bohemian type person. With something truly unique to offer. So I'm looking forward to when his debut album comes out. I think it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, on the basis of this song anyway, I'm keen to see what the album sound like.
I think the last time I checked, there's maybe 3 songs on Spotify. So this being one of them. I think there's another song called. Oh, I'm gonna get it wrong. Ain't no, ain't nobody like my father or something like that. And then there's another one called Drag Me to Hell, which is amazing.
That's the one I was trying to remember. Drag Me to Hell. It's
Um,
a Sam Raimi horror film.
it is. Yeah, it is. Is that the one about the Dibbit box? No.
I've not, to be honest, I haven't seen it. I just know that it's a Sam Raimi horror film. That's
Right. Okay.
that's where my knowledge of Drag Me to Hell begins and ends.
Fair enough.
And it's also a song by Fantastic. So there you go.
It's
That's
also a song by Fantastic that's definitely worth checking out. Yeah.
absolutely. Um, okay. Well, that was "Ain't No Man with Money" by Fantastic. Uh,